Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it.
Giftpreneurs, episode 5, following your dreams. A good way of understanding the giftpreneur concept is understanding how important your seed gift is in you finding and discovering and living your best life, which is interconnected with your dreams. So today, let's dive into it further. Today, I wanted to share something with you that I came across this weekend, and it was something that just stood out to me right away that really relates to the whole giftpreneur concept, and it has to do with your dreams. And so a part of our unique giftedness, which comes from our Creator, it's all interconnected for a greater purpose, and it has a lot to do with not only the calling upon our lives, which equates to our contribution to humanity, but it's interconnected and packaged together in the form of our dreams. And I believe that the best way God tends to reveal what his will is for our lives and his plans for our life has to do with the visions and dreams that we have received already. And so I'm of the firm mindset, regardless of what age you are, there's a dream, there's a vision inside of you. Vision more so being something that was specifically shown to you at a time where you probably were not able to recognize it as something that was more like a forethought or a pre-glimpse or a glimpse into your future of something that God has probably equipped you to be able to do. But then also there's dreams on top of it. And so you have your particular dream of something that might be connected to that vision that pretty much wraps it all up. And so having your unique area of gifting, which is what this podcast is all about, helping you uncover, discover, live it through the vision God revealed to you, or if you haven't received it yet or quite clear as to what it is, perhaps once you ask him, he'll reveal it to you again, or probably for the first time. And then on top of that, you already have a dream. So you put all three of those together. I believe those are things worth chasing within this life outside of the things that our educational system will tell us to pursue, such as go to school, get good grades, climb the career pathway, and then ultimately after that window of working ends in 30, 40 years, retire and then pursue whatever dreams or whatever you might have at that time. So I want to share with you briefly some words that came from Will Smith in regards to this whole Bad Boy 3 promotion. And so when I heard these words, it was something that resonated well with me because a lot of buzzwords within his interview that was on Sway's Universe this past weekend. And so I'm thinking like, oh, this is definitely something I have to share with everybody. And so I'm actually going to play it now. And then from that, you'll be able to see and hear just some of the words that I think relays very well with what I'm talking about thus far and what I'm going to be talking about in the future. And, you know, regardless of your thoughts of Will Smith, whether you like him or you don't like him, you know, a great example of what finding your unique gift is, how to contribute it, and the end results of that has a lot to do with your legacy. And whether you like Will Smith or not or whatever, his fruit that falls from his tree in reference to him contributing his gift to you and I through his movies, through his music, through his now newfound approach towards being more philosophical and sharing his viewpoints and his wisdom, to me paints a good, very good picture as to someone who's found their gift. And of course, we don't have one gift. I believe we have many. But for the sake of this podcast here, let's focus on our first and primary one, God's chosen purpose for us to use a gift for his service. So I just want to touch on this. I'm going to play this and then we'll break it down a little bit further. But it all plays into understanding the giftpreneur concept interconnected with your dreams. And then I like how some of the words he uses, which you'll get a chance to hear.
For me, I just told my mother, I told her either I make it in comedy or I don't make it at all. So, you know, I told her I didn't give myself no options, you know, so I just went for it. You know?
Yeah. And look at you today, man.
Yeah.
And I just think that's really critical, right? And it's like, because everybody has dreams, and as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. And people will help you, and when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe. People come along because your belief is so insane, that your belief is so strong that makes people be like, yo, this crazy asshole. Like, he might have something. He might have something. You know, you is a little funny. You is a little funny. You know, but following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do.
Exactly, bingo.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
All right, so there we have it. Will Smith laying out a couple things there, a lot of buzzwords in there that I think relates very well to the subject matter of uncovering your gift, how to deploy your gift, and how to give it to the world. And so a lot of the things, I wrote down a lot of notes about when I was watching this. And, one of the things he said that, people can give you a gem. And so people can come around and encourage you and excite you, get you roused up, possibly trigger something in you. But ultimately, you have to realize that there's something greater than probably what you've been doing to this point in your life. No matter where you're at, whether you're just solely employed or whether you're currently a business owner or whatever, there's something greater. And, only you are capable of really getting something started. The end goal, one of the biggest things I want you to take away from today's podcast on Following Your Dreams is there's something out there that you have to get started with. You have to get started. People can give you a gem. My goal with this podcast is to bring to your attention the importance of starting something, whatever it is. This is the gem that I would like to inspire you with GIFTpreneurs podcast today. And it's one of the things where, you're not alone in this, but yet, once again, no one, as Will Smith said, no one knows who you are but you. No one knows what you're carrying, but yet your creator and you. So it's up to you to find out exactly what it is you want to do, what it is you want to contribute. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's something inside of you right now that's excited, that's burning for something. You may not know exactly what it's all about, but as long as you have a glimpse of something, that's the starting point. And one of the biggest things I think that hinders people from starting anything is that you don't know how. You don't know how to do this, or you might use some type of excuse saying there's no money, I don't have the time, or, whatever the excuse might be. Will Smith, for example, is a great example. And so how this whole conversation came up was that, and so the very, very first voice you heard was Martin Lawrence. And Will Smith shared how he arrived at the point he's at now. And we all know Will Smith through his music. And so he basically, during his high school years, before he actually became a well-known musician, it was his senior year in high school, he dropped his first album, and his mother and dad were very academic-minded. They were very big, as Will Smith said, on his mother, encouraged him to go to college. She told him that you won't have a life unless you go to college. And then Will Smith said, I knew what my mom was saying, but I just knew that wasn't for me. And so my dad said, son, you got 1 year to make this music thing work. If it doesn't, promise us that you're going to go to school. And Will said, just to pacify my parents, I told him yes. And he said within that year, by him and DJ Jazzy Jeff dropping that album, he said within his senior year, they won 3 Grammys, and the rest is history. So within that year of him starting something, he had a dream that he was able to do music. That dream, that gift of him being able to put together some lyrics with a beat behind it, opened up the door for him, and he hasn't looked back since. And so he's been going on. And I think during his interview here, his total movie sales was like $3.6 billion. And, now he's at a different point in his life where now he wants to share some of that wisdom and knowledge. But for him, he was saying that he just knew school wasn't for him. And he knew music was what he wanted to do, and he was willing to risk it all. Therefore, he believed in his dream, even though his mother and dad didn't see it, because of their conditioning of thinking that only academics. Only school would be the door opener for you, when in actuality, nowhere in the Bible does it says your education will make room for you. As you guys can see on this image on the screen, it says your gift will make room for you. And so education encompassed with your gift can add value to it, but you start with a gift and then you add your education on top of it. Because one of the biggest, I think, problems people have is they go to school for the pursuit of money, for the pursuit of a career, and all the things that we're told to do, things we're taught to do. But ultimately, it's one of the things where your career will come to an end, but your gift is something that lasts forever. It's the legacy that you leave behind based upon your contribution. And so your gift is not for you. Like Will Smith's gift was the fact that it entertained us. His music entertained us. I remember when I was a kid listening to Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, and then I was a big fan of his music. And of course, we all know, if you're a fan, you got your favorite song or two. But then he went into TV with his TV show, which was one of the most watched shows of that era in a hip hop fashion, and it rest is history. And then he has a lot of movies since then. So that one door opener, based upon that one action of him believing in himself, opened up the door for him. And another thing he mentioned about here is, you have to take your shot. My belief personally is that if you're listening to this, right now is your time to take your shot. You have something brewing inside of you that you want to pursue. You have a dream. Whatever that dream is, more than likely, you're already equipped to do it because you see it. Those around you may not see it. Don't wait for permission. That's one of the things Will Smith says. Don't wait for permission to do what you already know inside that you want to do. And I think what resonates well with me is the fact that with this giftpreneur concept is one of the premises is that, work your day job as best you can, because you have to provide for yourself and your family, whatever it might be. But make sure you set some time aside during the day to touch on that dream, to touch on that vision, to get before the Lord and ask him, what is my unique gift? And so a good example, once again, Will Smith, music. His ability to put lyrics together with some music to entertain people was a great door opener for him. That was his step. He took a step. And then from that, it opened up all types of other doors to where he became an actor, and now he's philosophically sharing wisdom. And so it all started with the kid from Philadelphia because he believed in himself. Music was his thing. He had a dream that he could put an album out there and entertain people, and the rest is history. But it started with a step. And I'm excited when I saw this because Will Smith is a guy who has had several different pathways, several different gifts. So it shows that we're not just limited to one, but the goal is you got to start with something. And so I'm excited to really share this with you guys because, once again, Will Smith, one of my, one of my favorite actors at this point, because he's multiverse, he's multitasking on a lot of things. He even has a YouTube channel where he's sharing a lot of his life. And it's, once again, my personal opinion is irrelevant because his fruit speaks for itself. Like if you're watching the screen right now, a part of the Giftpreneur logo is that latter phase of when you find your gift, you redefine your gift. When you find your gift, you define your purpose, and then you deliver your service. And the service shows up in the fruit that remains from you just being yourself. And so I like there's a lot of other things that, it's a lonely, dangerous, and scary pursuit. And that's just what I wanted to share, because one of the things where deep down inside what lights your fire, whatever it is that lights your fire, more than likely you have the potential to do it, or you're capable of assisting somebody else at doing whatever that is, which will bring you great fulfillment and help you contribute. And so that's another thing about giftpreneurs. As we uncover this concept of gifts and your gift making room for you, as I mentioned in prior podcasts, it doesn't mean that you have to go out and become and be this great yada, yada, yada. Your gift could simply be in serving and helping somebody else reach theirs. And along with that union there, you become great and experience ultimate fulfillment. That's one of the biggest things that will result. And on the pathway of sharing your gift is the very nature of the fulfilledness that you'll feel. You'll feel full because you feel like you're contributing to something greater than yourself. And that's one of the main things about making your gift, uncovering your gift, is a gift is for somebody. Like, God gave you your uniqueness for you to enjoy, but for others to reap the benefits of. And I like how Will Smith broke this down, because he was saying that, in order to really pursue something, you have to ultimately, people have to look at you like you're crazy. Whatever it is that you see, whatever it is that you feel, whatever it is that you want, no one will understand it. No one will get behind you, until you show them that it's something that you are willing to lay it on the line for. And like how you said, like, man, it looks like people think you're crazy or something like that. Yeah, you ultimately, to pursue something that only you can see, puts you in a category of being somewhat crazy, because you can say some radical things and show some radical and just share some things where people who you share it with, more than likely, they only know you from your past. They only know you from the fruit you have up to that point, which means that you might have not showed ambition to accomplish anything outside of what they know you for. So therefore, you have a common bond, right, with that person, with that family member, with your parents, because they only know you from your past, and your past more than likely may not have been as productive and bold and outrageous and all the things that will come up once you start talking, quote unquote, crazy. Chasing your gift, pursuing your dream, ultimately, as he says, a lonely, dangerous, and scary pursuit, because it's you stepping out on your own. You may for a while be out there by yourself. A good example is for me, like this GIFTpreneur podcast, utilizing scripture based upon a business model of entrepreneurship and trying to encourage people, ultimately is one of the things where I'm telling people that your job is important, but it shouldn't be your all, but yet you ultimately want to get back to your dream, because that's what's going to provide the most fulfillment. So I'm of the mindset that we're in very dangerous times now, that there's no such thing as job security. And if there's no security in a job, therefore, when it comes to the investment realm, there's no guarantees that the money you work hard for, all your working days you set aside, that it's going to sit there, grow, so that you can then, when you retire, which is when most people decide to pursue their dreams, their interests, because that's just how we've been taught. And so we become complacent, and we become reliant, and we become very, I don't want to say dumbed down, but we've chose to put off our dreams until a more opportune time. And for a lot of people, it never comes to fruition, because what I'm realizing for myself, after you reach a certain age, you kind of become set in your ways. And when you're set in your ways, the chance of you deciding to get up, do something different, becomes less likely. So you become who you are. And at that point, change is very, very, very hard. The best time and the most realistic way that people change is when it's forced upon them. For example, you work 20, 30 years for a company, they fire you, you're now thrust into the fact that your world has now been turned upside down. So unless you had something else brewing, unless you had something else in the fire, you are now forced to change, and that type of change tends to hurt. And so the giftpreneur concept is find your gift at whatever point you're at in life. Start that in the evening. Start that outside of your 9 to 5 until, I like how the Bible verse, Ecclesiastes, talk about work, sow your seed in the morning, and at night, don't let your hands be idle, because you don't know which one will succeed. And the ultimate goal is, if you're living your complete full and happy life, you've uncovered your gift, you're serving somebody, you're deploying into this world, you're working on your legacy, and ultimately you're going to leave some fruit behind that perhaps might be working on your behalf, that your family will be able to be recipients on for a long time to come, i.e. such as what Mr. Will Smith is doing here. So I just wanted to wrap this up today. Wanted to share with you some wisdom from Mr. Will Smith in regards to the pursuits of your dream and how it's lonely, dangerous, and scary. And ultimately, only you see it. Only you see something right now. Are you bold enough to take action today with whatever? All it takes is a commitment. And I like how it mentions in the Bible, write it down on paper. Make the vision plain. Write something down. Put something down, and then take that first step. And you'll find so much fulfillment in taking a step towards what only you see, that it will ultimately lead to another step. There's no way that, in my personal opinion, you can take a step towards something and you experience just the gratifying nature of doing something for yourself that benefits others, that it doesn't lead to another step. And a great example for me is the fact that right now, the Giftpreneur podcast is relatively small. It's really insignificant in the grander scheme. But for me, the fact that if this message leads to one person taking a step towards just taking some thought about a dream, taking some thought towards their gift, asking God, what is it that you want me to contribute to this greater picture called life? And if somebody does that, and then if you leave a comment beneath this video and say, hey, Mike, thanks for sharing this. Mike, I know I've been wanting to do this, or Mike, this is something that's been on my heart. You know, those are things I want you to share with me in the comment section beneath this video here, or in the review part on the podcast, because that right there, to me, it brings me great fulfillment to know that me coming across this, sharing this, delivering this to you, if it leads you to taking one step, I believe my job is done with this podcast. Now, let's connect again in the future for more, because now I'm going to really lay into the seed aspect. As Will Smith said in this video here, you know, it's the seed. Starting your dream will help you uncover your seed, and that seed is the gift. That's what inside the box that you are carrying. You are a box. You haven't even probably even opened the box up to crack yourself open and see what you're capable of. And then that plays into your potential. What are you capable of? And those are all things we're going to talk about moving forward. I'm excited to do that. Hopefully you're excited as well. And so that's going to be it for today. I wanted to be short and concise, give you some Will Smith wisdom, put my 2 cents on top of it. Leave your thoughts below. I'm curious to find out what you think. Put it down below. And definitely it gives other people a chance to know that the community is growing. People are interacting, and we are all on this life's journey together, looking for our gifts, discovering our gifts, serving our gifts, so that we can fulfill our dreams, which is to make a mark on this planet. So other than that, if you enjoyed this, give us a thumb up. If you're on YouTube, if you're on a podcast, rate this so that people can find this information, because right now we're at the most interesting point in human history, I believe. We're in a transition from employment in a way it's been done in the past, of the 9-to-5 style work. Ideally, if you're in the U.S., you're in the customer service industry of some kind, because manufacturing is really not that big here. We're going through a change where the job paradigm has already changed with the invention of AI, robotics, and everything in between. So everybody who relies upon conventional employment will face a challenge. And I believe it started this year. And that's why Giftpreneur is here to help you start by taking that first step towards doing something that can position you in a much better way, so you won't be caught off guard in the days ahead. But that's enough of this episode. I'm going to shut my mouth, because if I don't, I'm going to keep it going. But I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below, as well as rate this on your favorite podcast. Share this with your family and friends. Make sure you watch the full clip of Will Smith, because I think you'll enjoy it. And other than that, look forward to bringing you more information and more Giftpreneur. Once again, if you don't work your gift, somebody going to work it for you. And at the end of the day, you can't leave a job to your kids for their future. So leave them a gift, a part of your gift instead, and let them run with it. Other than that, be blessed, be safe. See you guys later. Thanks.